Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jayom Vishnupada Paramamsa Parivagacharya Astotara Jatarishims Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayom Vishnupada Paramamsa Parivagacharya Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaja Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Abhimananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees, Hari. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Auranga. Please repeat after me. This is the invocation to Bhagavad Gita technically. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 20. So I will recite the verse. So I'll recite one time, and then you try your best as much as possible to just recite the verse, the line after me. Is that okay? Okay, that's okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Parastasmatu bhavanayo. Parastasmatu bhavanayo. Vyakto vyaktad sanatana. Yasa sarveshu bhuteshu. Nashayatsu na vinashyati. Parastasmatu bhavanayo. avyakto avyaktat sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu na shayatsu na vinishyati. Anybody would like to have a go? Anybody else? Give it a go. Parastasmatu bhavanyo Parastasmatu bhavanyo sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu Anybody else? Feel free to have a go. Don't worry. We make mistakes. Mataji? Yo. Would anybody like to have a go? Don't worry. No worries. Okay, for word translation. Paraha, transcendental. Tasmat, to that. To, but. Bhavaha, nature. Anyaha, another. Avyakta, unmanifest. Avyaktat, to the unmanifest. Sanatana, eternal. Yasaha, that which. Sarveshu, all. Bhuteshu, manifestation. Nashayatsu, being annihilated. Na, never. Vinashyati, is annihilated. I very much like the enthusiasm. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Yet there is another unmanifest nature by which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifest and unmanifest matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Purport. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. Please follow with me in the prayers. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Gora Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhana Jayam Tatam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidhamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopeja Kanta Radha Kanta Namoshate Dapta Kanchana Gauranye Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vanchakalparurubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Dhan Bhavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasvati Gaura Bhaktavedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prashadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyajadishacharine. So before I begin my talk, and I sincerely request the blessings of all the Vaishnava here present, that I can speak something enlivening to you in your spiritual practice and help you go forward. Everything is about going forward and deepening our connection with Krishna. This is the main things. This is Sambandha and Prayojana that we have. We know who the goal is of our life, and that's Krishna. And Sambandha is our relationship, how we're going to take it forward. What's our relationship? And actually, Abhidaya is the process by which we can go forward. So please pray. So I just want to read out the translation. Yet there is another unmanifest nature. You can repeat after me. Which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. Yes. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So in this verse, it's giving another. If you notice how this translation started, it says, "Yet there's another unmanifest nature." So, in the previous text, if we look in the previous text, in text 19, it describes again and again, when Brahma's days arrive, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helpless, being annihilated. So here we see a time of how things are working, things are. This is how, when we say, material life is temporary. How is it temporary? Well, here it is shown that when Brahma days arrive, then all the entities come into being in Brahma, into Krishna, and with all the Brahma's arrival at night, then they're helplessly united. So this is how it's temporary. That's what I've taken. So how it works is that after this material world is annihilated, again it goes back to the supreme. We merge, kind of thing. I believe that's so. And then again we come into being with things. But here in this verse now we're saying, yet aside from the unmanifest nature, there's something higher on that other level, which is eternal, transcendental, to this manifested, unmanifested in the matter. This morning, I was chanting japa, and you know, it's another japa day, another day of Mangalarti, another day of morning program, you know. But you know, we're sadhakas, and we're taught that we should, you know, take every day differently. It's navayovanam. Each day is different, you know. So how do we put this into perspective? How do we take advantage of the? We want to become deeply absorbed with Nam, right? It's just interesting. I had like a big wave of realization after meditating on this. And I'll be sharing you 4 realizations, and I will share these lessons. So the first realization I had is, be without expectation, be a spectator. Now what I mean by that is, when often in spiritual life we come with expectation, you know, we think it's, in life, you know, of course many of us haven't, you know, been born, we're not Nityasiddhas, you know, we don't come perfect. We are practitioners, and we go into the process becoming purified. So naturally we have these material tendencies, and what happens in spiritual life is that Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gauranga ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So what happens is, we bring such tendencies to the spiritual kind of, how should I say, environment. Generally in material life, what happens is everything is basically linear. You know, as you work hard, you put the time in, you'll advance. You know, that's how progression. But Krishna consciousness is not like that. Not exactly. It doesn't work with expectation. You know, most of the times, you know, after being in spiritual life for some times, we often feel like, okay, you know, we should try to be the highest, be perfect. You know, Prabhupada would say, you know, I'm the 13th, you know, Acharya, you be the 14th Mahatma, you know, you be the perfect. So we're trying to, you know, really seriously take up this practice. We seriously want to become a topmost Vaishnava, you know, everybody wants to do that. But it's not going to be the case that we think is be. In material life, there's this saying, even in business life when I was working, there's this saying of upwards and onwards. But actually spiritual life is actually quite opposite. Although the path is upwards and onwards, the mood for it is not upwards or onwards, but downwards and upliftment. How so? How so is it downwards and uplifting? Is because our mood is so that we are telling everyone, this is the problem that we're having. It's mentioned in just, I think, in text 8 of this chapter. Aparayam itastvamyam. You got the, even I can't remember that verse. Bhakti Sashi, you're on your top of your game. Which verse is it? 17. I had it just in my mind just before. It's here. 7.5. Is it? Oh yeah, it is 7.5. Yeah, you're right. It is 7.5. I do remember it's 7.5. Yes, aparayam itastvanyam prakatim vidime param bhutana sadhatana aho. Wow, very good. Thank you so much. But in that verse, it's describing how the living entities are taking advantage of the exterior, of the inferior nature. So what happens is that when we're trying to try to do that, then it just doesn't come out right. It's like, what example could I give? It's just like some recipes. If you mix two ingredients, it just won't go. So similarly, we are not made for taking advantage of this, you know. We are taught also, the Udvarmalam, that everything is upside down, you know. We're after this banyan tree, but we're taking the banyan tree within the water. So what we really want to do is that we want to take advantage of transcendental knowledge and understand what is our position in this material world. So therefore I say, be a spectator. Understand that we come for some time and we leave for some time.
There's I think everybody would have heard of this, when we were young, we watch Mr. Bean. you know, the funniest thing is that he goes to a hotel and he checks in and he's like, yeah, this sounds so nice, and then he starts changing everything in the apartment. Let me put a new bathroom. Let me make a new extension. Let me do all of this. And then once he's done all of that, he puts the carpet down and he's just like, home sweet home. And then check out in 2 days. I was like, come on, 2 days and you're just checking out. But this is us, really, if you think about it, it's like... But even as spiritual practitioners, I think we also invest, even though we are focused on Krishna, even in Grihastha life, I think we also try to make investments that we know surely won't really fructify. Sure, we can do these things, but we shouldn't have the faith that it's going to bring the eternal thing. This is what it's about, Sanatana, that we take through to the ultimate level. Prabhupada describes as an analogy of a sandcastle on a beach. And that no matter how much we build this sandcastle, I tell this to a lot of people when I meet the people on the street, no matter how much we build again and again, we're just going to keep building again. But the tide of time takes everything away, Even with such Raja Rishis, we see in the past, in Bhagavatam describes so many Raja Rishis. Even Parikshit Maharaj, when he was coming to end, he realized, yes, this is nothing but fruitless. Of course, he was playing the part. There had to be good administration to rule the kingdom. Yet at the same time, everything has to come to an end. So then we have to have that realization. It's not just the saying of it, but just to really put that into context, really understand that this is not gonna work. But here's the thing with scriptures, with such sadhus, with such saintly persons, wow, just amazing that although we realize that we're insignificant, that we really have no place, it's like it's like the example when Prabhupada is saying, this Tamal Krishna Maharaj, how significant do you really think you are? It's like so many universes, and within that universe you're in one planet, and so many so many towns and cities, you're in one cities, and this, out of many houses, we're in one house, how important do you really think you are? You're just so insignificant. So then, sometimes in spiritual life, they were like, yeah, I'm really insignificant. And sometimes that can destroy our self-esteem, It's like, how do you guys operate? People will ask, It's like, you just tell you guys are nothing. Even in your scriptures I read, hey, you're like a worm in a stool. What kind of a thing is this? If people read this, But, people have to understand things holistically. We have to have an open mind. What we mean by that is that we understand our position very well, but at the same time we are connected like plants. The leaves are connected very much to its root. We're not separated. So what it helps us to do, these scriptures, the sadhus, the holy place, everything is reminding us to uplift. Doesn't matter what path. In books, we have so many times people say, I'm Hindu, I'm a Brahmana, you can't see. I'm a Christian. Yeah, you Christian, I've been practicing for 20 years. Jesus is the only way. Maybe Jesus is the only way, yes, for you. But there definitely is other paths. But we have to have that open-mindedness, that we have to have a vision in our life of where we're going, and to understand that vision in alignment with the goal. That although we can be doing so many different things, it's so difficult to stay on the path. We've had so many people come into Krishna conscious, been here for 20 years, chanted love rounds. So many things still didn't work out, So it's not a easy thing. Don't say we're Krishna conscious. Don't think that just because we did all of these things, that's it, I've made it. No, no. My gosh, we have a lot to learn. Doesn't matter how many years. You could spend so many years. Millions of years. It's described even in the previous chapter. These yogis were meditating for thousands and millions of years. Still they will not get it. Krishna can give you anything and everything. It's described. He'll give you good birth, give you good families. But the one thing he won't give you very easily is bhakti. And how do we get bhakti? Through the bhaktas. Bhaktas are so merciful, they will give you, You want to purchase bhakti, you get it from a bhakta, Krishna is saying, even himself, sadhava hridayam mayam, that for him, devotees is his one life. It's his life and soul. There's nothing before him, Such dear are his soul, so why don't we just make it simple and just serve the devotees? And in this way, the devotees help to uplift us. And who out of the greatest devotee could there be other than Radharani? Wow. Such powerful devotees. Such a powerful devotee is Srimati Radharani that she made, as Keshav Maharaj says, God into a bhakta, Wow, just amazing. I was like, come on, so powerful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, came in the mood of a devotee to give Krishna Prem, and that storehouse of love of Godhead, just broken, shackles broken, never thought of, The Maha Mantra was there. The Maha Mantra was never not existing, it was just there, but he made it accessible for all. So, uplifting. Never think that we are. This is where material people are wrong. We are not downtrodden, but upliftment. We have so much to take advantage of, the sadhus. So, this is what it is. This is down to it. That we don't be without expectation. Be a spectator. That we see this world in reality. That's what Bhagavatam is saying in the first verse. Janmadi asya yato manya itaratas chateshu abdya swarad. You understand the swarad of Krishna. You understand the reality of this. That everything is coming from Krishna. And if we take away the covering, what are we left with? We're left with Krishna's energy. This is what it's describing in this verse. That Krishna's energy is supreme. This is, take advantage of it. Why? Because it's transcendental, it's eternal. But why is it that we can't come to grips to it? Why is it that we're having so much problems? It's the lack of conviction, the lack of faith. If we just have faith, if we just have conviction, we just have to try it and stay on that path. By the mercy, it's, who is describing? One of the Goswamis describing, I'm falling short all the time, but somehow by the mercy of the stick of the Vaishnavas, I'm being upheld. Just so let us not be pessimistic, but be optimistic. We have so much to gain through. So much. So the first lesson I have realized is to be with expectation, but be a spectation. Yeah. And even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shishrashkam, what would he say? Ashishyavali Padam. My gosh, he's just like, you're my Lord, unbreakable Lord. No matter what you do, it's like we're just crying, we're just complaining. Devotees just like, Prabhu, this is not working out. Prabhu, this is like. But here Mahaprabhu is showing as a devotee, doesn't matter what you do, you'll always be my Lord. So it's that relationship. We have to have that relationship. How far are we going to take it so much that we put not just our Lord into our hands, but our hands into the Lord. I was just reading such a powerful story of how a mother and a daughter were crossing a road, and the mother said to the child, "Hold my hand," and the child said, "No, you hold my hand." And then it's like, why is this? Why is it? Because I may let go of your hand, but I know you will never let go of my hand. So this is Krishna. He will never let us go. It's described that Arjuna, you had many lives. It's come and gone. We are same in the same boat, But you have forgotten all of them, but I, as a Paramatma, have remembered all of them. I know you inside out, more than you could even know your even self. How personal and touching Krishna is. But this is the part that this is the thing that changed me in this morning. What changed my japa this morning is that we make space in our mind for Krishna. Most of the times what happens is that we let so many things come to our mind, isn't it? How many things we allow? We don't even know it's happening. It's most of the times we just unconsciously let it happen, right? Is it not so? My gosh, the world, and its material problems, dukkha alam ashvatam, place of misery and suffering, so much problems happening, this is happening, Prabhu, the material world is going up, Russia and Ukraine is like, I'm traveling here, Prabhu, it's like, it's never ending, isn't it? It's like, but we have to take out this anarthas. One thing that I realize is sometimes it's going to be impossible for us to kind of take it all out. But what we can do is make space in our mind for Krishna. It's like a virus, but a positive virus, a good virus that helps. It's interesting if you're from a neurologic scientist. When they inject a vaccine, when you look at it on a microscopic level, it's just like a tiny thing. But that tiny thing is so powerful that it takes out the disease. So this is how powerful Krishna is. Shinvatam swakata Krishna, punya shavana kirtana. Even if you did a little traction, even a little punya, what to speak of lot? Even we're describing a moment's association. Wow, just a moment's association can liberate us. Wow. So let us make that little space in our heart. That's why I say to the world, and every time I go out onto the streets, that a little bit of love can make a difference in the world. And I don't mean just the world we're living in, our own world. We're all living in our own worlds, aren't we not? And reality is changing based upon what we perceive. So just create that little bit space. If we just have that little bit of, open-mindedness, my gosh, things will start to change. I definitely felt this morning, my japa was something I haven't experienced for many years, because I just made a space, opened that vacuum, It doesn't take much, but when we allow our heart to open, Krishna will reciprocate. This is what really association means. It's not physical proximity, but really opening our heart. Even if you could be, there were so many times when disciples or close associates of Prabhupada would be right next to him. But because their heart was closed, what could be filled? What could be entered, So most of the times, I think in spiritual life, when we're in kirtan, when we're listening to class, how much are we really absorbed? How much are we really open to receive this message? Because most of the times it goes to one ear and out the other. But you know what? We should be like what Madhava says, that it goes to one ear, goes to our heart, we process it with our mind, and it comes back out. We process it, we realize it. This is what Prabhupada did. In the beginning, one thing that Prabhupada had, very unique quality, and Bhaktivedanta Saraswati picked up those. He likes to hear. This is a very important quality, to hear with attention, with a focus. Prabhupada, he noted him down. Prabhupada mentioned, I think it's in the Leelamrita, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta noted down that he likes to hear and that he was clinging to my every word. Every word. How much are we ready to cling on to every word? How much? I often describe it also as a movie. We watch a movie, it looks great. Wow, that's exciting. That was full-packed action. Now rewind and go back and 0.25x speed, and you'll find, wow, I've missed so many Easter eggs. I've missed so much things that have generated the plot, that have changed the movie outcome. And found out, wow, these small things have created such ripples that they've come. So this is the three things that we want to see, I tell people. There's a immediate cause, there's a remote cause, and there's an ultimate cause. Most of the times in problems and challenges, we are looking on the remote cause. On the immediate cause. Somebody has caused me problems. Somebody is thing, But let's think for a second. How is this all working? This is what it's describing. There's this energy. There's this. This is the scenery. It's like a drama. This is how it's working under direction. How is it working? This is what we're looking at. We're looking at the remote cause. But Krishna says, forget about this. Look at the ultimate cause. Something that is supreme and never annihilated and transcendental. What is that? That is Krishna's hand. Krishna's hand is involved. That's why there's always good to be received out of every bad. Just powerful. If we just look at that. That's why I think it's so important for a devotee to introspect. And stop and just realize this thing. Even I was thinking more also on the remote level where it's mentioned manifest and unmanifest matter. What does that mean? In one sense, that just means it's like a curtain. Right now, the Lord is not present before us. So you could say he's unmanifested. He's not present before us. But another level is when the curtains open, he's manifest. We can perceive, we can take full advantage. But why is it that such level is there? Why is it manifested and unmanifested? Why can't it never be manifest? No, the soul is described as Ananda Maya Bhayasat. There is ever seeking that pleasure, that happiness. But why is it that we can't just have it all the time? Why can't Krishna reciprocally have it? Is because even if we could be with Krishna, even Dhritarashtra, had advice, but still, we still have the walls, the steel-framed walls in our hearts. And so therefore, what Krishna does, as I mentioned, is like a virus. He injects it. But what happens to that virus? It goes increase in size. And eventually, over time, it's like a chisel, You keep chiseling, chisel, again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. What happens then? Eventually it breaks. That's what Prabhupada mentions. Like a rock, over time, if you keep putting water again and again, it's going to corrode and it's going to fall apart. So this is how Krishna is working. Even we see in the pastime of Narada Muni, when Vyasadeva is speaking and to Narada Muni, and he's just thinking, how did you came to this level? You're such advanced. How did you came to this level of advancement? This is extraordinary. And so then Narada Muni, this mentions Srimad Bhagavatam, he's describing how after his, I won't go into the full details, but it's basically where his mother, who's a maidservant, so he was the son of the maidservant, and just one day she happened to be caught by a snake bite, and unfortunately she obviously left the material world and passed away. But it's just interesting how Narada Muni immediately saw that as a blessing, that Krishna is connecting more. That this is actually one thing that is a gap, and close that gap. So then what he does, he decides to go to this forest, and he's going to many places, and then he stops for water, and then he meditates really deeply, and Krishna comes there, and now in his heart, it's described how he's really touched. He's touched at the core of his heart, and Narada Muni is really overwhelmed. And at that point, Krishna escapes, no longer becomes manifested, becomes unmanifested. Now why is that so? This is it, we reached it. This is Prajna, we've got the goal, manifest. But why is it so? It's because we still have anathas. Krishna also doesn't see what you have, but also what you have at your back. Why? We're almost there. If we're almost there, why? It's like an anchor. We're on boats, we're coming so far. We're almost at the destination. We want to leave, but we can't if we're anchored. This is the problem. We're anchored to this material energy. We have this And we feel like we're convinced of this material energy. So therefore then Krishna then comes out to the heart of Narada Muni and says, due to these impurities you'll have to go. But actually for you, you're really with me in one sense, because now I've entered your mind and you have a deep hankering for me. So now wherever you go, I will give you this veena, and in this you will think of me in your service to me. Just so powerful, although not physically present. Now Krishna was present within his mind. So I think this is such an invaluable lesson, that Krishna creates such space also. If we are willing to reciprocate, if we're looking for that open-mindedness, if we're having that little, just a tiny little fraction, he'll work on the rest. So it's so powerful. This is how Krishna is. Cheto darpanam ajanam. The cleansing of the unwanted hearts. The dust, so much dust is on our mirrors. Some unbelievable amount. But at the same time, Shinvatam Sakata Krishna, we'll be purified just by engaging in Bhakti Yoga. But it just requires a little endeavor, So one other lesson is the last lesson I want to describe. So actually it's 3 lessons actually. So first lesson is be without expectation, be a spectator. Know that we're in this material world for a short time, and that we've just been allocated this. This is nothing really for our position, really. Nothing really for our taking. The only thing is for our taking is Krishna. Krishna is for ours, The second lesson is make space within your mind. Unless we have space, not just within our minds, but our minds and our hearts and our words. If we really do this, it can be really powerful. Pebbles will make ripples. Ripples will make the ocean stumble. And, the ocean is described, the ocean so powerful that in the future, yes, this ocean could just take over the land. So powerful, just by the small things. And the last lesson is don't look back, but get back our life. Many times in life, we think about the good times, isn't it? We think about the good times, memories with our families. Wow, we have such a nice time. We've got married, we've done this, we've done that. But you've done this already. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 1,000 times. How many have we done? We've done a do over again and again and again. So, as Prabhupada would mention, give this life to one life. But we can only know that one life when we've experienced it. And we have already experienced it. How? Because if we know, when we look back, what is that root of our life? That root of our life originally was with Krishna, essentially. Then because out of avidya, out of our desires, foolishness, then we enjoyed to have separate with Krishna. But eventually our original position was with Krishna, We just desired opposite from him. So we know it's already there. We know the great moments. That moment with Krishna couldn't be any better moment than could be in here. So why look back just this distance? Why not look back all the way? And then realize you never had it any good than you had it then. So then give that life again. It's not something that we have to artificially take, but it's something that we can just revive. Just snap our fingers if we're really willing to take action. So I'm going to stop here. I hope that was helpful. 3 lessons. Be without expectation, but a spectator. Make space within your mind. And then the last one is don't look back, but get our life back. So I'm going to open it up for questions or comments and honest reflections and realizations. Yes, anything.
You were talking about proximity. It's not enough that you could be next to devotees and your mind and your presence could be somewhere else. And I was thinking how more important than proximity is hearing.
Yeah.
But often my question is that when we're hearing from sadhus and saints and stuff like that, how can we kind of really find out what they're trying to communicate with us without the influence? Like, what's the best way to communicate that?
The best way we can make advantage of the hearing? I think one of the way we can make most advantage of our hearing is, again, open-mindedness is one, but also understanding his mind. I think one thing that I've made a mistake is assuming what the mind of the person is when we're listening from, you know. We really have to understand what their life is and their realizations. Everybody has a unique path. We're all like jigsaw puzzles. Some have more, some have less, but they're not all wrong. So what we want to really do is, the way we want to hear is also take the words but see how they fit in our life. So it's like a train track, you know, you have one line, another line, but we want to make the bridges, want to make the connections. When we make connections with that, then we really take it to another level, and in this way the train will flow really nicely. I feel that's one of the greatest way we can take advantage of hearing. Even Prabhupada is described how Leelamrita, when he was discussing something, it really penetrated and he really thought about it in his life. Even when he came to Krishna consciousness here, I think we should end here. But yeah, I think that's my thing. I'm sorry, I should have said more space. Shri Shri Radha Gokunanda ki, Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Vaishnava Thakur ki Jai.
Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chane Aroti Koshobha Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chane Aroti Koshobha Janavi Tatavane Jagamanaloba Dakinitai Shan Vame Gadadara Nikate Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradara Boise Ache Gora Chan Ratna Semasane Harati Korena Brahma Hari Devagane su Gosharigaya Sanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Marura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Sanka Bhaje Ganda Bhaje Marur 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 Bhaje Sanka Bhaje Ganda Bhaje Marur 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 Bhaje Marur 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 Bhaje Marur 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 Bhaje Nitagora Haribo 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 Gora Haribo Bahu Koti Chandadini Varana Ujvala Galare Shebana Mala Kore Jalamala Shiva Sukana Rara Preme Garara Bhaktivedanta Manor Sampara Nitaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta